in the silence between the stars, where galaxies spiral, where light dances, time flows like a river. In this universe, stars are born and die in spans of time beyond human imagination. The first elements in the universe, hydrogen and helium, fueled the first star fires. And when these stars exploded as supernova, heavier elements were created: carbon, oxygen, iron. And these elements now course through our veins. They are our bones, our hair, our hearts. This means that we are literally made of stardust, not metaphorically, but materially. We are made of stardust riding on an infinite timeline scroll. What's an infinite timeline scroll, you may ask, Larry? Think Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky. You all use those, right? I can look at the gray hair in this room and I'm getting some eye rolling. I get it. But you can swipe forever and never come to the end. That's what an infinite timeline scroll is. So let me see you swipe the air. Go on. This is audience participation. Don't be shy. Go ahead. Swipe. Swipe. Good job. Good job. You will use this skill later on during this talk. Science tells us the universe began as a singularity, an inconceivably dense point that unfurled to become galaxies, stars, planets, and life. Time, as we understand it, began in that singular instant. And we've been riding this infinite timeline scroll since it began 13.8 billion years ago. We ride this infinite timeline scroll at a moment in time when we are capable of understanding and wonder. To contemplate this is to stand at the edge of knowing and spirituality. This knowing humbles the intellect and awakens the spirit. Our lives are flickers in a cosmos infinity, vast and ancient, and yet our lives are infinitely important to us. Sometimes I also contemplate the infinitely small. Isn't there wonder in the inward journey, a journey into the fabric of matter itself, beyond the small realm where science fiction movies entertain us? Beyond molecules, atoms, quarks, and quantum fields, there's another kind of infinity, the vastness of the small. It's a wonder that stuff so small gives rise to thought, to music, to love. Passionless particles combine to awareness, and the vastness of the small is within every fingertip, every touch, every kiss, every breath. Our lives dance to the hidden music of the small. Okay, now, so far I've taken you onto a journey of the realms of the timeless big and the awesome small. Now follow me into the weirdest of all spiritual rabbit holes. Quantum physics is the science where tiny particles don't follow the normal rules. For example, quantum entanglement describes particles that are so intertwined that the state of one particle instantly affects the state of another, regardless of how far apart they are. How distant can this communication take place? Scientists wish they knew. UUs might find a spiritual interpretation of quantum mechanics as a direct expression of our seventh principle: respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. The seventh principle reflects UU's spiritual awareness, a spiritual awareness that everything, people, nature, the cosmos, are all interconnected. I see spiritual interpretations in science. Quantum entanglement is like the interconnectedness of all beings. Interdependence is a UU ethical foundation. UUs believe that no one is entirely self-sufficient. We are all shaped by community, relationships, and environment. UUs see a moral and spiritual growth that involves recognizing our responsibilities to others. Justice, equality, and compassion arise from acknowledging our mutual dependence. And recognizing interdependence leads many UUs to be active in environmentalism, racial and social justice, human rights advocacy, and building inclusive communities. I believe caring for others is both a moral obligation and a spiritual act. I see interdependentness as central to spiritual life and ethical living, and it informs how UUs engage with the world. That's why interdependence is a UU ethical foundation. Now, call me a geek if you wish, but I enjoy contemplation of the infinite timeline scroll. I enjoy daydreaming on the infinite unknown. I quest to find the boundary between science and spirit. And it's about time. There's a time for daydreaming on the infinite. And there's also a time to be here and now on my 24-hour timeline scroll each day. Because in this moment, I am thrilled to be sharing my 24-hour timeline scroll with your 24-hour timeline scroll. At this moment, we're in sync. So I'm curious, have I lost it? I'm just checking to see if we're still in sync. Have any of you been thinking about what you did yesterday, what you need to do later today, what you're going to do tomorrow? If not, go ahead and scroll and stop right here. Stop. Okay. And while I've been talking about quantum quarks and the infinite unknown, maybe you have drifted. Welcome back. So we live one day at a time. The past is the past, the future is unknown, and we share our 24-hour timeline scrolls with each other. We interact, we share connectedness when our 24-hour timelines intersect. That's when we pause scrolling and are present with each other. Isn't it about time? Today, did I rush through the day without giving myself the time and space to grow from it? Today, did I say or do anything that I regret? When will I make amends? Isn't it about time? Today, did I try to understand shared experiences through the perspectives of others to find understanding and empathy? If not, isn't it about time? Today, did I deepen relations with family and community? And will I write a letter or make a phone call? Today, did I take time to grow spiritually? Isn't it about time? And at the end of the day, did I process my experiences to try to understand others and my own feelings more deeply? And on reflection, did I connect my 24-hour timeline with other 24-hour timelines and build community? Have you ever experienced a moment when time seemed to stand still? Like being totally immersed in the moment. An immersive moment, deeply impactful. Okay, so let's do a thought experiment. I told you this is going to be interactive. Close your eyes and scroll back in time. Go on, I want to see it. I want to see it. Come on. Scroll back in time to a heartfelt moment where you deeply connected with friends and family. Okay, stop. Scrolling, this is fun. I am in control. Scrolling backwards is like time travel. Find a moment in your timeline, and when you're there, stop scrolling and feel that moment. Okay, come back to the present. What we bring to today matters, and how we share and care for others today matters. In my worldview, we're all interconnected in the past and in the present. And when time feels like it's standing still, you're living in the moment. When time feels like it's standing still, you're living in the infinite now. When living in the infinite now, you might feel at one with others, or your spirit, or your God. A friend of mine once said, if you ask God, what time is it? God will answer, now. Isn't it always now? Well, it's about time. Question, can we live in the now and still plan for the future? Obviously, yes. In my early 30s, I worked at the Fairbanks Daily News Miner as a news photographer, and it was a great job. That was around 1980. Back then, the newspaper's owner and publisher was C.W. Snedden, and he was in his 60s. So I thought he might have some valuable life experience and wisdom to share. One day, I asked him for advice. We were standing in the newspaper's huge warehouse, surrounded by rolls of newspaper stacked 20 feet high. Tons of paper and barrels of printer ink. The printing press in the next room was thunderously mass-producing the day's news, advertisements, comics, and obituaries. C.W. Snedden owned several newspapers, and he was successful in life financially. So I asked C.W. if he were to start over again at my age, how would he invest his time? After a pause, C.W. said to me, I don't know what you should invest in, but you have something I don't have, and that's time. At your age, your investments can grow for many years, and I don't have that time. On reflection, C.W.'s choice to be a newspaper publisher, aside from the profitable investment, was a choice to connect our community. C.W.'s words inspired me to start my own 30-year investment plan, and I built dry rental cabins in Fairbanks and provided low-income housing to the community. C.W.'s timeline was extended with a legacy gift to the University of Alaska Fairbanks Department of Journalism. After his death, his wife Helen created the Snedden Endowment for Journalism. His legacy continues to teach students the value of a well-told story and a connected community. We have all had moments that changed us and our relationship to each other and community. The cosmic timeline may be infinite, but our lifetime is a limited and finite resource. Isn't there a quiet grace in just living one day at a time? Not rushing to the future, not clinging to the past, but standing wholly in the now, where life truly happens. You know, the world often pulls us forward with anxious hands, plans, worries, bills, and ambitions, but the heart whispers something simpler. Be here, be now. This breath, this sunrise, this moment is enough. To try to meet each day with open hands and an open heart, I found that when I truly live one day at a time, life softens. Living in the moment, we can discover how much beauty passes through us. And in the end of each day, why not reflect on earlier moments and find deeper meaning? And when the day ends, release it. Let it go. And when our timeline ends, release it. Let it go. If your star feels dim today, may it shine bright again tomorrow. Understand that now is all we have. Being present is no small thing. It's everything. Building relation with family and community is everything. So let us capture each moment of our shared 24-hour timelines here together. now. Isn't it about time?